I am going to introduce my panel as we move along. But I guess the thing to do right away is to bring us to understand what this session is about. This session entitled Agriculture, Food Safety and Sovereignty. We need to bear in mind as we make progress that with climate change, the biggest concern of humanity is going to be access to food, not necessarily wealth, access to food. Therefore, agriculture, food safety and sovereignty, we are going to look at the role of social entrepreneurship innovations. The current food systems are inherently unsustainable. Apparently, the existing agricultural practices and food systems in Africa face significant challenges. They not only fall short of environmental sustainability, contributing to carbon emissions that exacerbate climate change, but they also play a role in the ongoing loss of biodiversity, undermining the delicate ecological balance. Additionally, they have been shown to confound public and animal health through their role in communicable and non-communicable diseases, as well as the enhancement of poverty in agriculture-dependent economies through price injustice in unfair trade models that are usually skewed against producers and consumers. The global context adds another layer of complexity. The call for food system transformation in this context is a recognition of the urgent need to revolutionize the way we produce, distribute, and consume food. This transformation needs to be both urgent and deliberate, acknowledging that the current trend is unsustainable and poses threats to the environment, to human health, and to human dignity. We need to rethink agricultural practices, embracing sustainable farming methods, adopting technology for efficiency, prioritizing food safety measures, and fair trade models for food sovereignty and human dignity. Additionally, ensuring food sovereignty wherein communities have control over their own food systems becomes a critical aspect of this transformation. By empowering local communities and fostering sustainable agricultural practices, the continent can work towards building resilient, environmentally friendly, and nutritionally robust food systems that can meet the challenges of the future. This session looks at the emerging and innovative approaches as well as opportunities to sustainable agriculture, food and nutrition security, food safety, job creation, and livelihood improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, the panel we have before us include Seforian Mwenda, who is the CEO of Agro Mwenda. Please show them your hat, sir. He'll introduce himself shortly. Mr. George Masharia, who is the General Manager of Equity Bank Foundation's Agriculture Program like we had. Susan Kahumbu, who is the CEO of ICAO, and Mr. Calvis Okello, who is the CEO of M-Shamba. Ladies and gentlemen, beginning with the lady, we are going to give you a 5-minute opportunity to introduce yourself and showcase your information. Please.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sue Kahumbu. As mentioned, I'm the CEO of a company called Green Dreams Tech. Started off educating farmers and democratizing climate-proof content for farmers using ICTs, leveraging different ICTs. So my company started in the year 2000. By 2011, we were building our first mobile platform for smallholder farmers. Over 1 million farmers have used this platform. This is for farmers who have low-end phones. We also have a smartphone. And over the years, we've also built what we call probably Kenya's biggest farmer social network across those different ICTs, now including online classes, soil advocacy classes, and classes on nutrient density. I consider myself a great soil advocate, and some of the things that keep me up at night are the agricultural practices that we're following, the decimation of our soil microbiome. When we begin to learn how important these are, we begin to see that the systems that we're beginning to follow are literally impacting back into human health. The nutrients that we get in our bodies come from plants. Those plants get them from soils. Those soils get them from the soil biology. The soils are the largest living ecosystem in the world, but our agricultural activities impact these and therefore eventually impact our health. So I will leave it at that and pass on to the next speaker. Thank you.
Yes, the next one.
Thank you. My name is Symphorien Piana and not Mwinda. Symphorien Piana. There was a mistake in. I'm the CEO for AgroMwinda. AgroMwinda is a digital platform created in 2013 in Kinshasa, the Democratic Republic of Congo. I can summarize what we do in three things. We work with small farmers and micro-entrepreneurs to provide access to information, access to financial services, and the logistics. We succeeded in building up a digital ecosystem with 13 solutions through the agricultural value chain. And the key question is because we are talking of food sovereignty, safety, and agriculture, we've been asking, drawing from Congo, we have the potential to nourish all Africa. And our question has been, why are we not able to do so? And then why are we importing food? The first question, or the idea is probably because the farmers and those people involved in agriculture, they don't understand how to produce, how to transform, and how to sell. Our key job is ensuring we use digital solutions to help these people understand, get the correct information. The second thing, produce. We cannot get food security without money. I think in development, agriculture is the most expensive sector. You cannot produce enough food with your money. And I'm happy to be the neighbor to Equity Bank, but how are we going to get this money? If the farmer, if the entrepreneur do not understand how to do it, then it will be difficult. And finally, how do we sell having access to logistical solution, both physically and digitally? We work to really try to help these local farmers and these small businesses to get to logistical solution. I don't have any background in IT. I perceive myself as a teacher, but also someone who has a development background. So I work with ITs, with private sector agents, and then even with the youth to see how are we going to respond to the three questions on how do we know what we must do, how do we access to resources to do it, and then how do we sell, and then how do we prosper? Thank you.
Please, next to you, George.
Thank you. And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, moderator. My name is George Macharia. Just a small correction, moderator. I am in charge of Equity Bank, Food and Agriculture Banking, not the Equity Foundation. But I'm wearing two hats today because as we continue with this conversation, you realize that I'll speak a lot about our foundation, being our social agent pillar within the Equity Group, and the Equity Bank that helps to realize the dreams of our customers and the farming communities. And I think just to highlight, and I know we will discuss this, Equity Bank is a group that has several subsidiaries, and these subsidiaries are meant to do good and also to help the businesses to do well. To do good through our Equity Group Foundation, which is a social entrepreneurship engine, which helps in investing in capacity building, training, and most importantly, preparing smallholder farmers and all the other players within the economic sectors, because we not only look at food and agriculture value chains, but also the other sectors, preparing them to move from peasantry subsistence operations to commercialization, because with commercialization, that is when sustainability comes to be. And then within the what we call, because we call it the twin engine model, within the other engine, it is what we call the economic engine, which looks at helping then these clients or beneficiaries of our inventions and our interventions within the Equity Group Foundation. How do we help them so that when they have been capacitated, then they are able to commercialize? So we have the insurance engine that helps them to de-risk their businesses and their operations. We have a technology group that helps them to digitize their operations. And then we also have the financial group, which is the banking group, which helps them to offer what my colleague here speaks about, giving or offering financial services, which helps them then to be able to actualize whatever they have been able to learn within the foundation training and the interventions that I spoke to. So we would speak about this, and with your permission, moderator, I think can allow the introduction of the next speaker.
Very much. Please.
Good afternoon. How are you? I can see some of you, the energy levels are coming down because of the good lunch. Okay, my name is Calvins Okelo. The last time I was in this podium was when I was graduating for my MBA here 8 years ago. The MBA Social Entrepreneurship that was presented by Daktari. I work with M-Shamba. M-Shamba is a digital agriculture solution. Our key focus is on 2 areas. One, we aggregate market data, and we help fulfill these demands by linking farmers to supply the market. So we start from the market to the farms. In this way, we organize our farmers into several interest groups. We call them common interest groups, CIGs, of about 20 to 25 farmers, and then we give them support. So the kind of support we give them is on extension, where now we have our field agronomists helping them to grow the crop according to the specifications by the market. We also partner with the government. So in this case, we have signed MOUs with over 24 county governments, where now we use also the county extension department, the extension officers, to support the farmers, because we also realize there's a lot of resources within the counties that within the government itself that are not easily exploited by the farmers because they do not know about them. And so we journey through until the production, but until the end of production cycle. But the assurance is that the farmer knows that they are going to sell. The most important thing that we assure our farmers. So we have agreements with them. We have contracts, and sometimes we do the from land preparation, give seeds, we provide crop protection, and all that. We use various digital media, digital channels. On top is USSD. Like Sue mentioned, that most farmers still have the feature phone, and so we create a repository of information through USSD, but we also leverage on what we call IVR, interactive voice response, where we give them data, audio lessons. They can just dial and then listen to particular practices and move from one practice to crop. So we to really innovate within that low-tech space so that we are able to reach as many farmers as possible, both in high production areas and to the ASAL areas. So back to you, moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Audience, we'll give you a chance to engage with the panelists, but I think maybe we move to the next round of questions for them so that they can clarify a few things a little bit more. And as usual, we start with the lady. So, could you please share your views on the recently launched Nairobi Declaration, which will see Africa increase its fertilizer use over 10-fold for the next 10 years? And how can this audience access your soil and nutrient density advocacy courses that you talked about during the opening? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I will answer the last part of that question about what I think about the Nairobi Declaration, which was just recently passed in the Soil and Fertilizer Summit held last week in Kenya. I'll answer that last, but I'd like to take the audience on a journey up to understanding why I say this. I have a question to the audience. If I were to ask you, who is responsible for your nutritional health? How many of you think that you are? Do you want to raise your hands? That's great. You all think you are, okay? You're all responsible for your nutritional health. So are you all farmers? Do you grow your own food? So let me ask the question again. Who is responsible for your nutritional health? Raise your hands if you're the person that is. Okay, there are a couple of farmers in the room. This is the way that our health actually works. We buy foods that are produced by farmers, and we assume that the food has been produced nutritionally rich and that it is in our best interest. And we hope that there are not a lot of toxins or pesticides or anything in there that will damage our health. It's a hope. But then when we look back at farmers and we say, so who educates the farmers? How many of you, let's see a raise of hands, know who educates the farmers? Look around you guys. Not a lot of people know who educate the people who are responsible for your health, okay? But worse than that, we've done an incredible disservice to our farmers. Two things. One, this law that says farmers cannot share, trade, own seed is ecocide. It means that those big producers of seed that are giving us junky seeds get to manage your health with the agri-dealers, okay? So back to this Nairobi Declaration. 10 years of doing the same thing, churning up our soils, fiaking our land, pouring in synthetic fertilizers. That's going to solve food security in the face of climate change in Africa? I don't think so. I'll leave you with one saying. Some of you think it might have been Albert Einstein that came up with it, but it wasn't. It was a feminist, Rita Mae Brown. Insanity is the belief that if you keep doing the same things over again, you're going to get a different result. I leave my case.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Brother Dr. Jonas, this session cannot be enough within the time that we have. So we hope that you're going to do this in future, focused on agriculture. There is a lot to share, particularly because of the issue of climate change. And having said that, and following up on that very interesting insights from Sue Kahumbu, I would like to ask you, my brother, Mr. Piana, could you elaborate on the innovative solutions your enterprise provides to support small-scale farmers and enhance their access to information like this, or information generally for sustainable agriculture and financial services? Because the two go together. Thank you.
Thank you. I think my colleague raised very serious questions, which have been pushing us to do what we are doing. She asked, who is responsible for educating farmers? I was shocked to see there was no one to respond. And this really motivated me why I left, because up to 2013, I was working with the civil society, especially the NGO. My last job, I was a senior advisor for the World Vision in Congo. I was supporting about 30 programs across the country. I went out of my job because I felt that I was not doing what was supposed to be done, I'm sorry. And the question of who is educating the farmers is related to the future of Africa. Because from the global perspective, from the civil society point of view, we've been taught, and I think we are almost convinced that the best way to bring change is to be very critical against the government. And that's why sometimes we don't even want to work with them. They are corrupt. This morning, someone told me, I'm very happy to see that you are doing something because the government is not doing anything in Congo. I was about to respond, but I said, does this guy understand what is going on? It is a duty of the government to educate the farmers. But most of the time, the government does what it does, but as a civil society or as business people, we don't collaborate with the government to really educate and train people who are responsible for our nutrition, farmers and small businesses. And she said about chemicals, product, and all that. In Africa, we are thinking that our food sovereignty and safety is about probably producing a lot of food, but it is not true. How do we ensure that? Because I believe that those who will create sustainability or safety are those small farmers, I don't know, out of Nairobi. How do we ensure that they know what influence their production, what affect their plant, what should be done for them to be efficient? That's the key issue. we leave most of time the issue to the government. Probably, I think that's where we should invest, and that's what we do. We understand that if we use digital platform to connect farmers, I can send millions of SMS, I can use USSD solutions, I can train and all that. So we are able to do that. For example, our platform today, we have 700,000 small farmers and more than 300 small businesses. And most of time, it has been very hard to convince even the farmers to buy in the solution. What we did is we understood, for example, in the Congo, we have the World Bank investing a lot of money. Our approach was going to the World Bank, present the technology, demonstrate how it is effective, and then the World Bank started providing us with the beneficiaries we support, and then the government understood. Today, we are leading the process of training those farmers using those technology, but also being able to really support government solutions. What is very important in this information issue is that as citizens, and that's my belief, we make a lot of mistakes. The biggest one in saying this government is corrupt. Because we say that and then we don't engage with them, then we are leaving our responsibility out. Today, because of a solution and other partners, we are able to advise the government how to spend money. I did 10 years, 20 years in NGO. I was not even able to meet a governor. But today, I'm able to say a governor from where, come here, he come and make a statement. Because the government believe that when we bring innovative solution to them, we are working for them. But if we work for them, then if you understand the risk to which we are exposed in terms of security, food security, then as social innovators, we can help the government do what is important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You saw I was getting restless because you are saying such nice things, and I know we are running out of time. I don't want to tell you, please stop now, because I know what you're saying is really, really, really critical. Thank you very much for that. The next question is to you, Mr. George Macharia. You are the General Manager, Food and Agriculture Banking. Banking is because people have money to put in the bank. From the story we've heard from the two previous speakers, it looks like farmers are not primed to get money to bring to the bank, especially the small-scale producers. The FAO tells us that about 80% of the food consumed south of Sahara in Africa is produced by the small-scale, vulnerable farmers. Those are the ones we call the price takers. They are told this is the cost of fertilizer, they buy at that price. They are told this is the cost of seed, they buy at that price. Somebody comes in and says, this is the price we are buying the maize at, they sell at that price. And then at the other end, there is a consumer who will buy what the distributors are bringing to them. Today, milk is this price, they buy. Today, flour is this price, they buy. They have no negotiating power. So now, the question to you, Mr. Macharia, what do you think the role of fair trade, that is price justice, is in securing sustainable agri-business, given that without the resources, the farmers cannot reinvest in sustainable agriculture? Without sustainable agriculture, your department in the bank is not secure because it is banking money coming from agriculture. Please.
Thank you very much. And before I answer that question, I think it is also good for us to ask ourselves, And I'm happy because you've alluded to the aspect of the importance of the smallholder farmers, particularly in food security within the continent. And when you listen to that, and then you shift and ask yourself, what are some of the experiences that the smallholder farmers go through? It's a huge dilemma because the expectation is too high, and these solutions. If we do that, Daktari, I can tell you we will be able to address the issue of fair trade. Thank you.
For climate change adaptation and sustainable farming, given the two go together, and remember the opening statement, the biggest threat to humanity will be food. You have money in your pocket, no access to food, because the climate change is bringing us there. How? What are the key learnings and challenges in utilizing digital technology, and also considering that everybody, speakers before, even this morning, are talking about this is the era of information. Artificial intelligence is here. What can it do for us? How do you?
When it comes to digital solutions and digital innovations, one key aspect is bundling of services. For example, we are good at market linkage and digital extension. So we provide market access and market linkage for the farmers. But we also work with other players, like those who are offering finance, those who are offering irrigation, those who are offering soil testing, those who are offering storage facilities, those who are offering other technologies. So bundling makes it easier actually to reach more farmers, and it also makes it easier for them to adopt. So for example, in our case, we, as much as we are offering market, but the main need that we see farmers asking every day is finance. We are not a bank, we're not a microfinance, so we work with a finance provider to help these farmers access the finance. So bundling is key, number one. Another key learning is that farmers, as much as we are talking about them here, and some of us have tried farming, but the traditional farmers are very knowledgeable as well. So they also have a lot of knowledge when it comes to crop protection, even when it comes to matters of weather and climatic patterns. And so it's also good to find a way of harnessing this knowledge and making sure that this knowledge also, as much as we also get knowledge from them, we complete the cycle as they are being bombarded with a lot of information, but they already know in most cases what need to be done and how it can be done. If you engage them, they will always tell you this. The average age of the farmer is also coming down rapidly. I was in Makueni in one of the training sessions that we usually have, and in that room, the average age of the farmer was 72 years. 72. Quite interesting. And then the other time we were in Nyandarua. In Nyandarua now we had a more diverse kind of group, a very young age, with an average age of about 28 years. But if you compare the mindset or the kind of perception towards farming between the 72 years and the 28 years, it's quite different.